listening to Radio Free Utopia, bringing truth to Utopians 24 hours a day. Welcome.
I still miss you, Rhonda, after all these years.
Also joining us from his lock cell is Raul Tejada, master mechanic who can be executed at any time. Hello, Raul, or should that be hola?
Either one works.
Today you die, Raul! I command it!
Ooh, Raul! Supreme Commander Tabitha says you died today. Any reaction?
I'm going to obey Supreme Tabitha. Claro. Whatever she say. Just I feel so bad I die before I fix her special robot.
You're listening to UNC, the Utopian News Channel, with breaking news. The execution of Master Mechanic Raul Tejada has again been commuted for a period of 24 hours to allow time for important repairs.
This time, you'll get it done, Raul!
Joining us from his cell to comment on the situation is Raul Tejada. Raul!
Hi, Rhonda.
What's your take on the situation?
All I want is to make the special robot work again. You know, I give it my best.
We'll be right back after this word from our sponsor, during which Raul will contemplate how lucky he is to be alive.
Oh man, so Lily, you're telling me that you used to be at this mountain up here?
Stay quiet.
I'm talking here, Lily. You tell me that you used to be up at this black mountain place here and there's some kind of ghoul trapped here? Oh man. Well, I mean, I have you, a Nightkin, in my group of companions. You think the ghoul would be willing to join us if we rescued him? Well, I guess we have a mountain to trek. Shouldn't be too bad, right? I mean, you've been here before, you can talk your way through all of them. I mean, they're just super mutants, right? Shouldn't be too bad. Let's, that shack, it looks interesting. I hope it's, I don't see a super mutant living there. Oh my god.
This is a dangerous place, human, especially for your kind. I suggest you turn back. There's nothing good waiting for you further on.
Oh, thanks for the warning, but, you know, I can take care of myself, buddy.
Yes, I hear that sometimes. And then I never see the people who said it again.
Oh, trust me, I think I'll be fine, man. Oh man, there sure were a lot of guys guarding this. Lily, you didn't warn me at all. That guy down on the mountain, he didn't warn me at all. Like, how come you guys don't warn anyone? Like, jeez, someone other than me could have died up here. Oh, whatever. But we're here rescuing a guy, right? Prison building? That sounds right. Okay. Behind this door requires a key. Let's see. Very hard lock terminal. Rex, why are you on the table, buddy? Oh, this terminal's not locked. Let's see. Entry 1. Nothing fun in there. Let's see. What am I looking for here? They fixed a toaster. Okay, yep. Still don't see anything. Oh, change the lock on the door and require password. Password is 12345678 Huh. Let's see. Oh, there we go. We're logging on. That's more than 9 digits there, but whatever. Let's disengage the lock, see what we're going for here. Hello? Hello? Lily, you might wanna...
Hello again, dear.
You might wanna go back to the Lucky 38. You might scare him.
Aw, Grandma will miss her little pumpkin. Are you sure?
Yeah, go back to the Lucky 38.
Nice children shouldn't play in places like that, dearie. That's the sort of place Leo likes. But if you insist...
Alright, hello there, buddy. Raul, is that your name?
Took you long enough, so can I go now?
Oh, what do you mean took me long enough?
Sorry. I assumed the only reason you'd fight past a horde of super mutants and pick the lock on my cell is if you heard my cry for help on the radio. But maybe you're just sightseeing. So since the door's open and all, can I go now?
Well, at least tell me who you are.
Name's Raul. Raul Alfonso Tejada. I'm the mechanic around here.
Then why does your jumpsuit say Miguel?
Probably because it used to be Miguel's. Whoever he was. How about if you let me go, huh, boss?
So you're the mechanic around here?
No. No, boss. I'm a prisoner of the crazy super mutant with the wig and the glasses. I was kind of hoping you were here to set me free. But maybe I'm not a pretty enough damsel for that. Huh?
Can you repair some of my stuff?
Sure, boss. I'd be happy to prolong my captivity and psychological abuse to tighten some lug nuts for you.
Oh, well, would you look at that?
Back again? Can I go this time? Or do you have something else in mind?
I guess it's okay by me. Enjoy your freedom.
Alrighty then. I'll just head out. Alone. By myself. Into the dangerous waste.
Actually, you want to tag along with me?
Anything's better than staying here. Let's go.
Okay, well, let's get going, Raul. Oh, this is Rex, by the way. He tends to bite ghouls, so don't get too friendly with him. Okay, oh. Would this be the crazy super mutant with a wig you were talking about, Raul? Tabitha. Well, okay then. So this is how you recruit the super mutant ghoul. Not a super mutant. This is how you recruit the ghoul Raul as a companion. You scale Black Mountain and release him from the prison. You don't really have to do the quest here either. But as you can see, as soon as you leave with Raul, you're going to get attacked by Tabitha, who you have to kill for the quest anyway, so it kind of works out. Now Raul, whenever he is a companion, he is going to give you the regular maintenance perk. While he is a companion, the condition of weapons and armor will decay more slowly. Now, he is a companion similar to Lily in that he does have a companion quest, but it is an unmarked quest. And to do it, you might not exactly know what to do either. We have to go around to 3 different NPCs in the game and talk to them, and that's going to trigger Raul to tell us a little bit about his backstory. We have to go visit Loyal in the Nellis Hangars. We have to visit Ranger Andy in Novak, and then we have to visit one of the sniper guys from Camp McCarran, who I totally remember the name of. But we're gonna start by going up to the Nellis Air Force hangar and talking to Loyal. Before we get to Loyal, though, I feel like we may have left a super mutant alive on this mountain. Yeah, I told you I would be fine, didn't I?
Longer than you, pal.
So, Raul, Let's get to know each other a little bit.
You really enjoy dragging me into situations where I get shot at, don't you, boss?
Tell me about yourself.
Sure, boss. What do you want to know?
Where are you from?
I was born just outside Mexico City. My family had a little ranch there.
Tell me something else about yourself.
I'm an open book, boss. Granted, the book's in Spanish and some of the pages have fallen out, but I'm an open book.
How old are you?
Old enough to know better, boss. Old enough to know better.
What's Petro Chico?
You never heard of Petro Chico? Un amigo de Poseidon Energy. Of course not. They were an oil company in Mexico back before the war.
Okay, how'd you end up at Black Mountain?
Well, boss, when a giant insane super mutant asks you to stay put, you do what you're told. Well, maybe you don't. But I'm just a broke down old man.
But how did Tabitha find you in the first place?
It's stupid, boss. I used to listen to the radio broadcast, just to pass the time. Well, one day the signal stopped, so I figured I'd try to find a transmitter. I'm a pretty good repairman. Or I was before my eyes started to go. Anyway, I found Black Mountain and offered my services. But Tabitha decided I was useful enough to keep around. Permanently.
Okay, how can I make the best use of your skills then?
I'm not much use besides being a portable encyclopedia, really. I guess you could use me as a pack Brahmin. But my knees aren't so good anymore.
I don't believe that. You must have some skills.
That's nice of you to say, boss. But I'm an old man. Not much use to anybody anymore. Time was. I was a pretty good shot with a pistol. I guess I'm still half decent. These old bones aren't much use in hand-to-hand fighting, though. I can also do maintenance work on your stuff. I don't have the supplies for a real repair job, but I can keep your gear working longer.
Lots of older people are still useful to their friends and communities.
Yeah, maybe you can introduce them to me, if we find them, because I've never met one.
And that's pretty much all we can learn from him at the moment, so let's go see Loyal. So once you're at the Nellis Air Force Base, Loyal is going to be in one of the big 2 hangars during the day, but if it is nighttime like it is now, you will find him in his own little building to the left of them all. He's leaving now, going to the hangar. Right over here near Pearl's barracks.
What is it, outsider?
I'm looking for ways to make myself useful.
If that's so, how about you look into repairing the solar arrays on the roof of the generator building? Nothing too complicated about it, but it's a long ways to walk my old bones, and there's been that ant problem over near there. You can't miss the array. It's on top of the generator building smack dab in the middle of Nellis, between the 2 runways.
You don't need anything blown up.
If we need something obliterated, Raquel and the howitzer crews are more than qualified. No, we have more specialized issues we need help with right now.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
All right, what's on your mind?
Actually, no, nothing.
See ya.
That's a good thing to see, huh, boss?
What are you talking about?
That Loyal guy. He's getting up there in years, but he still finds a way to make himself useful to his people. If you ask me, that's better than withering away all alone or holding on to some faded piece of glory from your past.
Loyal's using his years of knowledge to help his tribe. I think that's a noble goal.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
What's on your mind?
Old history, boss. I grew up in a place called Hidalgo Ranch, just outside Mexico City. It wasn't much, just a bit of a farm, with a house for 3 generations of Tejadas. I wasn't the best behaved kid. I was quick with my hands, with a pistol or a wrench. And I wasn't afraid to get into fights over it. I never killed anybody, but I had my share of run-ins with the police. Mostly my family kept me in line. This was before the war. We were far enough away from Mexico City when the bombs fell that we missed the worst of it. But things got bad quick.
Go on.
Just a few days after Mexico City was vaporized, refugees started pouring down the road to our ranch. We helped who we could, but there were so many. Eventually, my father started turning people away before we ran out of food. Things got violent. My father and I got our guns, and we drove them off.
What happened then?
About 24 men came back in the night after we'd gone to sleep. They set fire to the ranch house and barred the doors from the outside. My whole family was trapped inside. I smelt the smoke, and I got myself and my little sister Rafaela out through a window. But everyone else, my parents, my grandmother, my 2 brothers, and 2 of my sisters, all died.
What happened then?
Rafaela and I ran. We were pursued by some of the men who attacked our home, but I was always a good shot. The ones who came after us, I killed. The rest, I left be. I had to take care of Rafaela, not throw my life away on revenge.
Can't think it was your fault. No one could stand against a dozen armed men all alone. No one that's not me.
I know that, boss. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just getting sentimental in my old age. Anyways, forget it. Just wanted that off my chest.
And with that, we get his first conversation. The next one we are going after is Ranger Andy in Novak. But wait. Well, maybe by some miracle, maybe Ranger Andy has come back to life. Ranger Andy?
What's new?
What do you do here, Andy?
Right now, a whole lot of sitting on my keister and counting cracks in the ceiling. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. On better days, I help keep the peace. Boone and Vargas watch the road. I watch the town. Tell myself I'm doing some good.
Did you do something to your leg?
Yeah, twice. Actually, the first time, it was more like half my body. Knocked me out of the Rangers. This time, it's mostly just reminded me how useless I've gotten.
What happened?
A few years back, we get a tip that some Legion slavers were holed up in this burnt-out house a few clicks from where we were stationed. We get there and it's deserted. No sign anyone's been there. I mean, nothing. As we're leaving, I hear something behind me. I turn around and there's this kid, just skin and bone, and he's looking up at us and he's scared half to death. Been hiding in a closet.
What did you do?
I go to grab him out of there and I notice he's holding something in his hand. Something metal. He shuts himself back in the closet and that's when I see the grenade he's left by my feet. They do it a lot, the Legion, using kids. They know we'll hesitate. Anyway, that was the first time. Second time, I fell down those stairs in front of the motel, just in case I got to thinking I'd put it all behind me.
Well, your body is injured, not your mind. You're kidding yourself if you think you're useless.
Huh. People don't exactly line up to find out what's in my head. Can't remember the last time someone suggested I knew something worth knowing. You know, maybe there's something I can do for you. Since you've gone to all the trouble of flattering a crippled old soldier, there's a move we have in the Rangers for knocking an opponent off his feet. Saved my butt a bunch of times, maybe it will for you too. Let me show you how it's done.
Okay.
I can't believe we were alive. I'm glad you decided to offer.
Hey.
Hey, boss. Can I ask you something?
Sure, what's on your mind?
What do you think of guys like Ranger Andy?
Well, I mean, first off, that man should not be alive. I saw his dead body, and I am absolutely shook by him. But second of all, what do you mean, guys like him?
I mean guys who have a world of experience doing what they do, but have to give it up because they're getting old and slow or too injured.
I mean, he didn't have to give it up. He's just scared he doesn't have what it takes anymore. Just because someone's crippled doesn't mean they're useless. All that experience is invaluable.
Yeah, I suppose he could still teach. Take a less active role in the world. That's not so bad.
Is that what you did?
Would it surprise you to know that I used to be a gunslinging adventurer? After the fire, I knew my sister and I couldn't stay at Hidalgo Ranch anymore. The refugees still wanted me dead. They even put a bounty on me. I remember how scared Rafaela was. I told her if she came with me, we'd see the vaqueros. She used to love the rodeo, especially the trick riders. We figured maybe we could find help in Mexico City. We were young. We didn't know what had happened, really. We didn't understand about the bombs.
Wasn't Mexico City basically annihilated in the Great War?
I don't think it was as hard hit as D.C. or Bakersfield, but it was bad enough. By the time we got there, the city was a radioactive ruin. Still, the city was full of looters, already forming into the beginnings of raider tribes. Crime was bad before the war, but now it was a nightmare. We were living like scavengers, scraping by on what little food we could find, always looking for medicine for my burns. And then, of course, the radiation started to kick in, turning me into this handsome devil you see before you.
Sounds pretty bad.
You're a poet of understatement, boss. But there were moments it was almost worth it. I still remember finding that novelty costume shop. I was just looking around for something I could slice up to wrap my burns when I saw the vaquero outfit hanging on the rack, like it hadn't been touched. I took it, not like anybody else needed it, you know, and wore it back to our camp. Rafaela laughed, for the first time since the bombs had fallen.
Wasn't it dangerous to be dressed so noticeably?
It was. I started to build up a legend. Sometimes it headed off trouble, but most of the times it just started more. Young punks looking to prove themselves would come looking for me, but my eyes were sharp and my guns were quick. For a while, it seemed like we might even survive there, until Rafaela.
Go on, what happened to her?
She went out to find some food one day. I was sick, so I stayed at our camp. I guess it must have been the beginning of radiation poisoning. Anyway, it was supposed to be safe, but some raiders happened to pass through where she was scavenging. I won't speak of what they did to her. When I found her body, the only way to recognize her was this funny little scar on her knee from when she was a little girl.
That's terrible, Raul.
Terrible doesn't begin to cover it, boss. I led my whole family down. First the ranch, now Rafaela. I was the last Tejada. I guess maybe I went a little crazy then. I took my guns and went back to that market. I didn't have many bullets, but I had enough. After the raiders were dead, I salvaged what I could from the store. I was tired. I just wanted to be alone forever.
So what did you do?
I left Mexico City behind. I made my way out to the Gulf Coast. Eventually, I found an old Petro Chico refinery nobody had claimed. I stayed there for a little while, and I thought a lot about my life. I thought about the guns I'd lived by and what they'd gotten me. I decided my guns hadn't gotten me anything, and it was time to give it up. I took off the old vaquero outfit and put on a Petro Chico jumpsuit. The name tag said Miguel, so I started using the name myself. Eventually, I made it to Arizona. That's another story, boss.
And with that, we learn a little bit more about Raul's past. The final person we have to talk to is Corporal Sterling at either Camp McCarran or Camp Forlorn Hope. If you have completed the bounty hunting quests and killed all the Fiend leaders, then Corporal Sterling and his squad of snipers will move to Camp Forlorn Hope. If you haven't, they will be there. But before we do that,
Okay, boss.
why don't you wait here for a second, Raul? I gotta deal with a ghost here.
That's not a good idea. You dirty.
So here at Camp McCarran, you're going to want to make your way to the tents towards the back to find Corporal Sterling. It's a little bit of a walk, but this should just about be the end of his companion quest. Let's see. That is Gorobets. There's Betsy. That's Bitterroot. That's 10 of Spades. He's going to be literally the last one I find, actually. And that is a regular NCR trooper. Did I miss him? Let's double back.
You ask me.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Howdy. Name's Sterling, 1st Recon. Can't say I've seen you before. I'd remember if I had.
You remember everyone who's passed through here?
Got a good memory for faces, landmarks and such too. Comes with practice, that's all, and a lot of scouting from place to place.
Okay. Have you always been with 1st Recon?
Used to be a ranger. One of the first they sent out east back before we took the dam. Observation and reconnaissance. We took the lay of the land, checked out the locals, and kept ourselves inconspicuous. A couple friends of mine were the first to scout the dam. That was back in '73, if I recall. A lot of those rangers are dead now. Vegas always chewed men up. It's just a little more literal nowadays.
Why did you leave the Rangers?
Well, that wasn't really a matter of choice. Got myself caught by legionaries up near Malpay. They had themselves some fun with me. Mangled my hands and feet pretty good. Wasn't much good with the pistol after that. Wasn't gonna be trekking across the waste on any more long scouts either.
How did you manage to escape Malpais?
Caesar's boys figured I wasn't going anywhere after what they'd done to me. So they didn't bother tying me up. I crawled out of there on my elbows and knees. Must have looked a sight. Then I rolled down an embankment into the Colorado. Guess I had a mind to drown rather than give Caesar's boys the satisfaction of killing me. But a couple of rangers happened to be watching from across the river. They jumped on in and pulled me out of there. Lucky break, they said.
Okay. That's an
Always a
interesting
pleasure.
story.
Keep yourself safe.
Got a second to talk, boss?
Sure, what's on your mind?
Meeting Corporal Sterling, well, it kind of got me thinking. Here's a guy that's been beat all to hell, right? I mean, he could have retired from the service, but instead he signs back on and does what he can. You think he did the right thing?
The NCR put a lot of time and money into his training. He owes it to them to use it however he can.
Even if he can't use it anymore? Isn't that like asking you to come up with one of your brilliant schemes after suffering a crippling head wound? Oh, another one, I mean?
Why do I get the impression this is more personal to you?
I guess it reminds me of my own life. I left everything when I left Mexico. My home, my family, my name, even my face. I know it's surprising, boss, but I wasn't always this handsome. As far as the world knows, I was Miguel. And I was okay with that. I headed north for a while, and ended up in Tucson. Not Tucson, by the way. Things were good there. Well, maybe not good, but better than Mexico City anyways. I found myself a little shack, started fixing things.
Fixing things.
Well, sure, boss. I was always good at fixing things. Some I fixed for the town, some I fixed for other people, some I fixed just for the hell of it. It's a better way to use your hands than killing. And even then, I wasn't getting any younger or faster. I lived there for a long time, kept to myself, didn't get into any fights. Hell, the only reason I even kept my guns oiled was professional pride.
Why aren't you still there then?
Getting there, boss. I'd been in Tucson. The locals can call it Tucson all they want, but it's Tucson, damn it. About 75 years when she showed up. Prettiest thing you ever saw, boss. Maybe it was just a trick of my senile brain, but I swear she looked just like my Rafaela. Her name was Claudia. She ended up taking work at one of the brothels in town. I never went to her, of course. How could I? But I looked after her in my own way.
What happened with her?
This was a long time ago, before Caesar's Legion pacified Arizona, and brought the raider tribes to heel. A tribe came into Tucson one day. More a gang, really. Dirty Dave and his 6 brothers. They were looking for bullets, and I sold some to them. I figured if I did that, they'd leave town before they tore it up too much.
But they didn't, did they?
No, boss. No, they didn't. As I was saying, I hoped they'd leave the town in peace. Instead, they decided to stop at Claudia's brothel to take the edge off. I don't know which one of them got rowdy first, but by the time I heard the screams and got my guns, it was too late. They shot up the brothel, killed 4 girls, and taken Claudia for their sport.
Did you rescue her?
I went after Dave and his brothers. They had a head start, but they slept nights. I didn't. Took me 3 days to catch up to them. Claudia was dead when I got there. They put a bullet in each of her eyes. I couldn't do anything except avenge her, just like Rafaela. I charged into the middle of their camp and started firing. 2 of them were dead before they knew I was there. The other 5, though, they shot the shit out of me. I would have died, I think, if I wasn't so full of rage.
How did you survive?
By being a meaner old cuss than the rest of them, boss. I wanted to keep living until they weren't. So I just kept shooting until they were all dead. I was in pretty bad shape in the end, though. I don't know how long I laid there, with the sun baking me and the buzzards chomping at me. Eventually, I got the strength to start moving. Some long time after that, I managed to drag my carcass back to town.
What happened then?
When I recovered, more or less anyways, I left Tucson and headed west. I ran into Tabitha at Black Mountain, and well, the rest you know. I swore I was done with the gunslinging life. I was too old, too slow, and too beat up to protect anyone anymore. I thought I was done forever, but after traveling with you, I realized I've always had my doubts.
Doubts? About what?
About whether I'm really too old to keep living the life of a gunslinger after all. And after seeing what you go through, boss, I think I am. From now on, I'll let you deal with the fighting and stick to keeping your gear working. I don't want to slow you down more than I already do.
So at this point, you get an option to affect his ending. If you agree with him that he should stick to the sidelines, you can say if that's what you think is best. I won't stop you.
Thanks, boss. I'd hate to think I was disappointing you with my life-altering decision.
And with that, he gives you the full maintenance perk, and that replaces the regular maintenance. He also gets a little costume change too. Let's check out that perk, full maintenance. While he is a companion, the condition of weapons and armor decays 75% slower. So basically your equipment lasts a little bit longer. Let's check out the other one, shall we? So before I choose this next option, I do want to explain that right now you need a speech check in order to convince him to not go to the sideline and focus on his pistol shooting. It is different based on what replies you give him when he talks to you about these 3 people. So I think if you give him a more split opinion, then you won't need a speech check for either of them. I think I just happened to give him more opinions based on people sticking to the sidelines and being too old. So I need to do a speech check in order to convince him of the opposite. So my speech check is that's not true, Raul. You're great with a pistol.
You think so? Well, you're the boss. Okay, I'll give it a try. But if I get killed, and if there's an afterlife, I'll haunt your ass.
And now he gets the Old Vaquero perk, which increases his rate of fire with revolvers and lever-action firearms by 33%. I'm not sure, but I think you also get to keep the regular maintenance perk. Now the Old Vaquero perk is not on here. Unless I'm just blind. But I mean, it pretty much told you what it does, so...
The Legion can count on
And
that.
if you ask me, I prefer this costume for him way more. But that's going to be his ending there. There is one other thing you can do with Raul.
Don't worry.
Now, you can ask him somewhere here. I thought you could ask him if he could repair your stuff, but I might be wrong about that bit. Let's talk about tactics. No. Anyways, what I was saying was he will not repair your stuff himself.
Good.
While he is a companion. You can, however, dismiss him.
That's why you're the boss. You always make the right decisions. I'll just head home. Home to my lonely abandoned shack in the middle of nowhere.
You want to make sure you don't dismiss him to the Lucky 38. Instead, you want to do the regular dismissal, in which he doesn't return to Black Mountain. He's no longer a prisoner. He will instead go to his shack up here by the Brotherhood of Steel outpost. Safe house thing. But you'll come in here, and he should now be in his own home. And if you talk to him again...
Oh, it's you. You need something repaired or something?
He will actually repair some of your stuff.
You got the caps, I got the skills.
He does, however, still charge you for it. So you might as well just keep him as a companion and not ever really send him here. But that's going to be it for Raul Tejada, the second to last companion in the base game of Fallout New Vegas. Next time, we're going to go after Arcade Gannon, the final one, who has quite a lot to do with the end of the game, which is why I saved him for last. But anyways, I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye!
Though some super mutants in Nightkin continued to journey to the legendary Utopia, they found little trace of its existence. Some eventually found their way to Jacobstown, but many wandered off into the wastes, confused and disheartened.
Invigorated by his travels with the courier, Raul once more took up his guns in memory of his lost Rafaela. Soon after, the Mojave was filled with tales of the ghost vaquero who hunts down those who prey on the weak.